I think the players understand this, the coaches understand this, that we're in a stage right now, we're just going day to day. Put one foot in front of the other foot, move forward. What we do on Tuesday puts us in position to do what we have planned on Wednesday. What we do on Wednesday puts us in position to do what we had planned on Thursday. We install, we practice, we evaluate, we correct with the players. We install again, we go to practice, we just keep trying to move forward. So we're pointedly trying to not be instant evaluators. Otherwise, every day you have a new order of quarterbacks, and it'll be the body of work at all the positions that determines it. What I like about the players so far is they have demonstrating they have a very strong resolution collectively towards what they want to get accomplished. We see ourselves making a lot of progress in developing the mental strength that's necessary to have the resilience and the positive energy and the confidence necessarily to take on all the things that happen during the course of a season. The two leading candidates as the lead tailback are Mack and Simpson, both for their skills and their versatility. Keith Payne has upgraded his performance here this year and had some positive plays yesterday, so he's clearly very much in the mix. Rashawn is very capable of going back there and playing that position. So if we're just going to single list each position, a player at each position, we weren't going to double list a player at positions, then we probably wouldn't put him at the tailback position. But in reality, he is. And certainly, as we've spoken in the past about versatility in players, that's one of Rashawn's skills. Is he's kind of he can do kind of some tight end jobs, he can do tailback jobs, he can do fullback jobs, and that not only gives him personal versatility, but it gives a lot of versatility to the overall scheme. Matt is demonstrating that. One, his results last year weren't fluky. And two, that he has the potential to probably be more, whatever the numbers turn out to be, to probably be more effective in that area than might be indicated if you just watch him do drills. You know, he's obviously a tall player with really good leverage. He's uses his hands very well, and as a result, he's a high motor player. He's a good run stopper. But he's also a very savvy player and knows how to work leverage, knows how to work blockers. He had good pressure yesterday. He had 2 passes knocked down and a blocked field goal yesterday. He just shows up on the ball by being, this is one of the players that falls into that category that I was talking about. The game makes sense to him, and he makes really good on-the-move decisions, and he puts himself in position to make plays that sometimes players with more athletic ability don't get in position to do just because they don't make as good a decision as he does. So with 3 more years to play, you know, this is going to be one of these players. I think he and Jenkins both clearly down the line. This will be one of these players that all of us feel like they've been around forever. Just as many plays as they played last year in their freshman year, and you know, as you say, Matt did a nice job for us last year, and I think we got 3 full seasons to play with him, and he did a pretty nice job last year, so it's exciting to see what his upside might be. The wide receiver jobs are all wide open. They have been from the start. They will continue that way. Some players made some plays yesterday, which were nice to see, and so all that means is they got to prove it again tomorrow. And if they prove it tomorrow, then they got to prove it again on Tuesday. And if that gets them in the game on the 5th, then they're going to have to prove it on the 5th that they belong in there on the 12th. Now, that doesn't make them necessarily different than a lot of other positions, but in this case, it certainly does apply to the wide receiver spot. Perry was one of those players we just said, well, look, where would you feel most comfortable starting? And the one thing that we all knew, including Perry, is that where he had, I mean, the reason he was the state player of the year is because probably the reason he was the state player of the year ahead of a player on his own team, Tim Smith, who had terrific numbers also, is because Perry's numbers came on both sides of the ball. If you took away his offensive numbers and just looked at his defensive numbers, tackles, sacks, interceptions, then he probably would have been a strong candidate just playing one spot. But what was apparent is that, and that was playing linebacker. So what is apparent is he's not going to be a linebacker in college. And so where would you be most comfortable starting off, Perry? And Coach, I'm not really sure. Can I come back and see you tomorrow? By all means. And came back the next day and said I'd like to start at running back. And so that's where we have him right now. And but as a guy who had that type of skill and obviously made a lot of plays on defense, he's one of those guys we're taking a hard look and doing a lot of coaching on to see how he can fit in on special teams.